back to another episode of Entertainment with Buford and Francis. Today, cosplaying as, at least dressing similarly to Francis from the Fairly Odd Parents. And today's story is called Mickey, Donald, Goofy, the Three Musketeers. Please enjoy the video and sit back and relax. In the gutter, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, and Mickey's dog Pluto are street urchins who, while being robbed by masked bandits, played by the Beagle Boys, are saved by the Royal Musketeers, Athos, Aramis, Porthos, and D'Artagnan. Afterwards, Athos gives his hat to Mickey as a souvenir. The urchins are inspired to be great musketeers someday. Years later, the three are working as janitors in the palace, still dreaming of becoming musketeers, despite their flaws. Donald is a coward who turns into a chicken whenever he is frightened. Goofy is a doofus, and Mickey is just too small, according to Captain Pete of the Royal Musketeers. This leaves the three downhearted. Meanwhile, Minnie Mouse, Princess of France, and her lady-in-waiting, Daisy Duck, are in a palace discussing Minnie's obsession with finding her one true love. Daisy says that she must marry someone of royal blood, and Minnie insists that she cannot marry someone she does not love. Minnie says she will know that he is the one when he makes her laugh. Minnie then takes a walk in the palace garden and barely escapes with her life when the Beagle Boys attempt to drop a safe on her. The Beagles run to tell their boss, Captain Pete, that they were not successful in dropping the safe on Minnie. Pete gets upset because the assignment was to kidnap the princess and keep her safe before the opera, The Pirates of Penzance, which is when he plans to take over the kingdom. Just then, Pete's lieutenant, Clarabelle Cow, tells Pete that Princess Minnie requests his presence. Pete goes to the princess, who tells him that she wants musketeer bodyguards. Knowing that skilled musketeers would jeopardize his kidnap plans, Pete appoints Mickey, Donald, and Goofy to protect her. When the three musketeers meet Princess Minnie, she instantly falls in love with Mickey. The boys are so caught up with wanting to make a good first impression when Daisy comes in the cheese tray for Minnie, and they see the accompanying knife. They tackle Daisy, thinking she is a villain. While Minnie and Daisy, protected by Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, go on a journey, they are ambushed by the Beagle Boys. Donald hides and is eventually thrown off the carriage, and Goofy is easily defeated, leaving Mickey to fight the intruders. Mickey is also defeated, leaving the three heroes stranded. Mickey encourages his friends not to lose hope, and they rush to rescue Minnie and Daisy. At the entrance to a tall tower, Goofy tells his fellow musketeers to stand back so he can break down the door. But Mickey opens it before he can stop, which sends Goofy rolling past the Beagle Boys and out of the tower. Outside, Goofy bounces off a tree, gets kicked by a cow, is thrown by a windmill back into the tower, and goes rolling past the Beagle Boys again. When Mickey and Goofy are trapped with the Beagle Boys, Goofy gets the idea to do the same thing again with Mickey, and they manage to knock the Beagles out of the tower and rescue Minnie and Daisy. After Mickey unites Minnie and makes her laugh, the two fall in love. Pete is furious that the Beagle Boys failed their task and realizes that the three protagonists are more of a threat than originally anticipated. While on night duty, Goofy is lured away from the palace by Clarabelle. The Beagle Boys appear before Donald, capture him, and try to execute him via guillotine, but he escapes and tells the whole story to Mickey before running off, leaving Mickey by himself. Mickey is then captured by Pete, who chains him up in a dungeon in Mont Saint-Michel that will flood when the tide comes in. Meanwhile, Clarabelle is about to throw a chained-up Goofy to his death off a bridge. Goofy flirts with her and wins her heart with his numbskull charm. She pulls him up and they kiss. The two plummet towards the river but land on Donald's boat instead. Goofy tries to convince Donald that they have to save Mickey, but he is too scared to try. However, an insulting song by Troubadour makes him change his mind, and they rescue their friend just in time. Outside the Paris Opera, the Beagle Boys greeted Minnie and Daisy and walked right into the opera house. As they walk down the hall to her throne, they find themselves captured by Captain Pete in a burlap sack. Minnie squeezed her head right out of the bag and screamed. The situation is outrageous. Pete reveals his nefarious plan to rule. The small Beagle poses her. Pete orders the Beagle Boys to hide the chest with the two princesses in it. Meanwhile, the heroic trio made it to Paris. The Beagle starts announcing to the public that she is handing the crown over to a gleeful Pete. The trio makes their way to the opera house, and Pluto leads them to the princess in the chest. When the two boys try to bolt out to the exit, they are stopped by the three Musketeers' arrival and battle them on stage. When the Musketeers caught the chest, they try to make their getaway upstage to come to a dead end. They get themselves on the cardboard smiling crescent moon and lowers them back to the ground. Pete jumps on the cardboard smiling sun and pulls them back up a little. After a tug of war with the chest, they dropped it. Mickey runs back to the stage and painfully caught the chest. The final battle commences, and his two teammates survive to beat him and save the princess. Mickey and Minnie finally declare their love for another, while Donald wins Daisy's heart and Goofy wins Clarabelle's. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are dubbed Royal Musketeers.